for setting up an online tea business. How to get going, how to get started. Let's get into it. I didn't test the audio. I hope you guys could hear me. If you guys can't hear me, let me know. I didn't test the audio this time. I hope it's correct though. Salud. Over here, Long Island, New York, at one of the latest Circle of Drink establishments. Just practicing what I preach. You know, we are shipping yerba mate to over 30 countries. I think it's like 38 countries, all over the planet, all over the globe. Very fortunate enough to be doing this. So first of all, I just want to say thank you so much. All the supporters out there supporting Circle of Drink for over 10 years now. Just about 10 years, I should say. But I've been involved with mate since 2009, so you could even argue over 10 years. But thank you guys so much for always supporting Circle of Drink. Even if it's just for the content, you're coming just for the content. Maybe you never even bought some of our mate, some of our gourds. That's okay. That's fine. A lot of what Circle of Drink is doing is just educating the world on yerba mate. 3 years after finding out about mate, all I did was educate the world. We weren't even selling anything. For 3 years, I was just studying yerba mate, talking about yerba mate. Omar, what's up, buddy? Salud. And just sharing this amazing herb with the world. It took 3 years for me to decide to start a business of yerba mate. And this may sound kind of ironic, but you know, I kind of miss the days when I didn't even have a yerba mate business. I was just waking up and drinking yerba mate and appreciating it. Just having that pure relationship with yerba mate. And now, you know, I don't regret it. I love selling it. I love getting it around to the world. I love what it does for people. So I almost felt like I needed to start a business around yerba mate. Before this business, I was doing a lot of other things with technology and finance and things like that. And I'm not going to go into all that. But I'm just really happy that mate kind of swept me up and said, Dave, no, buddy, you got to use your mind to expand us. You have to use your mind to get us out to the world. We're not going to let you off the hook so easy. So I formed a business around yerba mate back in 2011. We incorporated, and we're going to be talking about incorporation. So remember that word, incorporation. Incorporating is the verb. In 2013, October 2013 is when we officially incorporated. But we were in business as early as May 2012. And then January 2011 is when I started to consider the business idea of Circle of Drink. But it took me a little bit to kind of figure out what was going on. But from 2011 to about mid-2013 or so, it was just all information. There was no business around that. Just to give you a little background on Circle of Drink. Salud, we got 9 viewers. What's going on, guys? Thank you for coming in. Let's do a quick recap. Oh, actually, no. First, let's talk about what I'm sipping. Check this out. Look at this bad boy. Yakui, another installment. Pineapple and mint. Really, really nice stuff. We're having a little bit... See, this is the thing. I have about, I don't know, dozens of products right now that are not even on the website. So we've just been selling them privately for people who come, who call us up, or like, Dave, I saw that in your video, I want it. Or people who walk into our little shop / warehouse, they buy it. So that's why I'm trying to show you guys these products for you, to do you a favor, for people who don't want to wait another week or 2 or 3 weeks, or maybe even a month. Who knows how long it'll take to get onto the website. Because remember what I spoke about last week, 2 weeks ago, about branding. We're not a fast food company. It may take up to a year for one product to be fully actualized on the website. Obviously, we don't do that with every product. On average, a product may take a couple weeks. On average, a product may take a couple weeks, not days, weeks, to get onto the website. Because there's a lot that goes around getting onto the website. Photography, you have to write copy. We are not in the business of just throwing things on the line just to make money. I don't care about all that. That's for other businesses to do. No judgment on their part, but you know, for us, it has to be done right, or we're not going to do it at all. It's just how it is. So that's why I'm showing you guys these mates here. We got another one, Yakui Ice. This is insane. Terere basically means cold mate. You don't need to drink it cold. What's up, Tyler? How's it going, buddy? This is essentially the Argentinian version, the Argentinian cut of Yaqui, broad cut leaves with different blended herbs in there. As you'll see, this one has mint in it, but this one's explosive. Like this one, if you really, really want a mint blast, a minty blast, this is the one to try. This is probably the mintiest mate I've ever had. It's almost kind of comical, to be honest. When you drink it, it's like boom, hits you like a thunderbolt. So that's why they say drink it cold, but I drink it hot. I don't really drink cold mate that much. But try this one out today. Ice. Then we got this bad boy. I've been loving this little hidden gem right here. This is Schneider Moída Grossa, which means medium cut. This is a heavy hitter bad boy, strong, robust, malty, very strong actually. I really like this one. I found this mate 6 months ago when I was living in Brazil. Really loved it. I really connected with it. And now we have this. It's not on the website, mind you, but if you want it, write support at circleofdrink.com or orders at circleofdrink.com, and we'll take care of you with a little discount before anyone could get it. And then, for those of you folks that are just chiming in for the first time, you don't know what mate is, you don't know what the gourd is, you don't know what the bombicha is, you don't want to have anything to do with that, that's okay. We have you. You see this? This is instant mate, also made by Yaqui, gourmet herbal mate company coming out of southern Brazil. Circle of Drink partnered with them several months ago. We have a really good relationship, and it's just an honor to be sharing their products here. This is instant mate. You just throw it in your cup, mix it around, and you have all the benefits of mate without any of the work. No, you don't have to do all this fun work that I love doing every day. You could just make this instant toasted mate. Just add it to water, and you're good. So I'll leave that there. Anybody that wants to jump on any of that, orders at circleofdrink.com. Email us. We'll take care of you. Send you an invoice online through email, and you'll be able to get that. Just checking. Can you guys hear me well? Somebody make a comment and just let me know if you guys can hear me properly. Because I haven't tested the mic. I'm assuming you guys could hear me. Okay, cool. All right, so let's do a little recap. You could hear me. Thanks, Omar. Appreciate that, buddy. So throughout this presentation, this online circle, this is a circle, a yerba mate circle. For those of you that don't know what yerba mate is, shipping to Canada is like 8 to 10 days, really fast. We ship it quickly. For those of you that don't know what yerba mate is, it's a powerful holly plant, Ilex paraguayensis, derived from southern South America, or the southern cone of South America. It's drunk by, I estimate, 100 million people a day. 100 million people a day. That's my estimate that are consuming traditional yerba mate a day in South America. It's a very powerful herb. It just gets your mind crispy clean, crispy sharp. You feel amazing. You feel good. It just changes lives. I know that sounds like hyperbole, but for most mate drinkers, it's just a reality. You drink it, you feel good. It's been my secret weapon for 10 years now. Without yerba mate, my mind would not have been able to develop the connections, the pathways. You know, that's just basic neurology. When you do something that makes you feel good and think in a certain way, your mind creates certain connections, certain pathways. So say, for instance, you know, mate has helped you to become a better reader. And now you're reading more books. Now you're comprehending more information faster with greater velocity. So as a result of mate, now you're learning faster. You're training your mind to take on more information faster, better, with more comprehension. So as you learn more, you're able to do more. You're able to change your life. You're able to go to the gym and learn more exercises. You're able to study engineering. You're able to become a nurse. You know, I'm not saying that mate is the panacea, is the magic pill. But what I'm saying is that it's not an overstatement to say that mate has truly helped people to actualize their goals in life, even if it's just for health. So I recommend, if you're just finding out about yerba mate, Y-E-R-B-A space M-A-T-E, that just give it a chance. There's dozens of people that sell it. Go to Whole Foods, go to Trader Joe's, go to a bodega in your city. Go to Walmart, go to Target, go to circleofdrink.com, go anywhere you want. Find any mate brand that you want. There's so many, and just try it. It's really good. You're gonna feel what I'm talking about right now. So that's my little story on yerba mate, what it is. So let's quickly recap. This is a series on starting your own online tea business, but it's kind of going to have a little mate circle vibe to it in terms of we're going to talk about mate, we're going to talk about the blends, we're going to talk about go off on tangents. As you guys know me, I just like to go off on different things, and I do that by intention. I do that by design because I think it's too boring just to sit here and talk about business and I don't know, like I'm an entrepreneur. Yes, I'm a business person, but for me, that's just life. I don't want to sit here and just talk about numbers all day long and talk about, nitty gritty, serious business terms because I'm not a serious business person. I'm a relaxed business person. Business and entrepreneurship is just a part of my life. I was born an entrepreneur. So for me, I'm not, sitting here and going to give you a lecture on finance. I want to incorporate the business into what I'm really doing here with Circle of Drink. So the first installment of the series, we spoke about what do you really want to do? Do you really want to go into business or do you want to start a hobby? You have to decide whether you're going into business to grow and expand and to change as many lives as you can, or is it just a hobby? Something you just want to do when you can to make a little bit of extra income or just to sell things to your family, what have you. So you got to decide in the beginning. Otherwise, you're going to be living in that gray area mess. And when you're in the gray area, you're draining your energy. Energy is dissipating, and you're just going against finding any sort of level of clarity. The second installment was branding. Come up with a good name. Spend time thinking of a good name. Spend time thinking of your philosophy. Spend time thinking of what are your values as a company. Spend time thinking about the colors. What colors do you want to represent? What symbols, what logos do you want to represent your brand? How will that logo look on the web? How will that logo look on print? How will that logo look on a billboard? How will that logo look on video formats, video mediums? These are things to think about. You have to really come up with what is my brand really going to look like? What is it going to feel like? Because remember, brand is not just a logo. A logo is one element of a brand. A brand really is a feeling. What is the feeling that you're portraying? What is the feeling in the minds of your customers? You have to really think in terms of psychology here. You have to really think in terms of art and aesthetics. This is not a step that you want to skip. Many entrepreneurs skip this step. They're just like, I don't care. I'm going to come up with any logo. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to draw a little squiggly and then pay someone $5 to digitize it. And that's my logo. Who cares? This sort of attitude is going to keep you in a place of... Now, don't get me wrong. I've seen some people make millions of dollars with this attitude because they didn't care about their customers. They just cared about the product, getting it to the customer. So they figured out ways, mathematical ways, to just get any product to any customer without really caring about anything else. So for them, the business was strictly just transactional. And hey, if that's your thing, that's okay. But for people who are trying to create a true, long-lasting business that really is portraying, and giving off good vibes to people and really cares about the customers, then you have to think about branding. You have to think about messaging. You have to think about positioning your brand inside people's minds. You got to study psychology. There's a lot of this has a lot to do with psychology, really. Human evolution, societal factors, what's going on in this current societal zeitgeist, if you will. So you need someone on your team who is able to project into the future. I know that sounds a little bit crazy, but for me, it's not crazy. You need someone who's able to absorb information, large swaths of data constantly, and who understands art, who understands color, who understands space, who understands philosophy. You need at least one person in your company who could dream. And their job is just to dream. And their job is just to come up with the creative direction of the company. I guess you could say that's my main role in Circle of Drink. More than anything else, I'm the creative director. Pardon me one second. Let me decline that. I'm getting calls. So that was installment 2. Now today, installment 3 is the kind of nitty gritty. I'm going into the incorporation, the legal stuff, the accounting, things like that. And just to preface this, I'm not an accountant. I'm not a lawyer. I'm going to be speaking in general terms. You're really going to have to get your own lawyer. You're going to have to get your own accountant. You're going to have to get, your own bookkeepers. So just keep that in mind when I'm speaking about these things. Let me just see the chats, what's going on in the chats. Wow, we got a couple people out here. What's going on, guys? Zane, what's up, buddy? Omar, what's up? We got some Facebook users. Yes, the Tostado. The Tostado's in here, man. So yeah, salud, guys. How's it going? Canada, salud. Yes, we do sell to Canada. If you guys ever need mate out there, we got you. So throughout this discussion, if you guys have any questions on starting the business, I know a lot of people here are just here to have the Monte Circle. They don't care about the online business. That's okay. So that's why I'll try to cater to you guys as well. But the crux of this video will be for those who are trying to start their own online business, particularly a tea business. But if you notice, I'm not really talking so much about tea or mate in terms of, I'm just speaking generally. So this could go for everybody. Later on in the series, I'll get into the nitty gritty stuff of like mate, maybe selling mate in particular, but this is just a tea business. Whoever wants to start a business online really could benefit from this. So I did take some notes. Let me find some notes. All right, cool. Apart from that, let me check out these. Madrugada. Yes, sir. So, all right. Let's get into this. Actually, give me a second, guys. Let me just text this person back because it sounded kind of urgent. This is the real deal. This is impromptu. This is the life of a business person right now because, like I said, I got an urgent call. And I just want to text this person back because it seems like they need to know something right away. I'm at the warehouse filming. All right. So let's start. So incorporating, what is incorporation? Okay, so let's begin with the understanding of what a business is, legally speaking. A business is an entity. A business is treated, as far as the government is concerned, a business is a legal entity. So you could almost think of a business as a living person that has their own rights. They could act in their own way. They are their own body, so to speak. So the reason why you want to incorporate, because remember, there's two different types of businesses, generally speaking. There's just a person who's like a hobbyist, and they're selling things, and they're getting money. Technically, that could be considered a business on the books, yes, but it's not until you incorporate where your business becomes a separate entity. So say, for instance, there's Dave Mate, and say I was just selling tea to people without a business, then I would be selling tea. Yes, I could probably still get tax and tax customers and things like that, but there would be no distance between me and my customer. So say a customer got sick, or something happened and they were like, Dave, I'm going to sue you. They could sue me directly. So now keep that in mind. They could sue me directly because I haven't incorporated. Now, the reason why you want to incorporate and create a legal entity, a legal structure of your business is because now, say somebody gets sick or something happens and they want to sue me, they cannot sue me. They can only sue the business. My assets now are separated from the assets of the business. So this is what you call limited liability. You want to limit the liability of your personal self. That's why you want to go ahead and incorporate the business. When your business is incorporated, anything that happens to your business. It doesn't happen to you. So yeah, there could be legal ramifications to you later on, but generally speaking, the main reason to incorporate is because you want to limit liability. So there's all different types of corporations you could have. There's things called C Corps, there's S Corps, There's LLCs. The most common one is probably LLC, a basic LLC, which will create some liability, limited liability, and it's its own entity. There's different tax ramifications for each structure. Now, like I said, I'm not going to go into the whole legal advice and accounting advice. I'm giving you general information. You're going to have to talk to your accountant and lawyer to find out what best suits your needs. So the general understanding here is that you need to incorporate if you're serious about starting a business. The business, once incorporated, acts as its own legal entity. That business gets its own tax number called the SSN number or EIN number. This number is crucial because this number is going to be used any single time that your business needs to incur taxes. So again, this is another separation between you and your business. It's not you getting taxed anymore for the business activity. It's the business being taxed. And in order for the business to be taxed, it needs its own tax number. That tax number is called the SS4 or EIN number, SS4 or EIN. So when you're incorporating, who is this? Bring the items, okay. So when you're incorporating, you want to hire a lawyer, or you could go to a website to incorporate. When I started incorporating my businesses, I didn't hire a lawyer. I just did it on my own. There's many online services that you could use to do this. The one I believe that I used was LegalZoom, LegalZoom.com. So you go to LegalZoom.com. At this point, you already have your business name. You already know what you want to call your business. So you go to LegalZoom.com. And on LegalZoom, you basically decide what sort of structure that you want for your business. You could talk to a lawyer at this point and ask, but generally you're going to be okay with the LLC if you're just starting off. Now again, do your own research. When I first started companies for myself, I went with the LLC route. Right now, I don't use LLCs. I use C Corps with the S Corp election. Basically, it's a standard corporation, but the S Corp allows you to be taxed in a different way. S Corp is a sort of election that you file with your accountant in terms of how the company will file taxes. So don't be overwhelmed. There's a lot of all this jargon, I know, a lot of terms that you may not be aware of, but just take the broad strokes of what I'm talking about here. You need to incorporate. You go to LegalZoom.com. LegalZoom will walk you through how to incorporate. Now, when you incorporate, LegalZoom will give you many options. You could get many add-ons. You don't need 100 million add-ons they're going to offer you. All you need is the basic incorporation. You need the letter of incorporation. The letter, it's a single letter that shows the date that you were incorporated, and it has an official stamp by the state that you're incorporated in. And then you need the filing receipt. The filing receipt shows that you paid for this incorporation at this particular day, and now you are officially incorporated. And then you also need your articles of incorporation, which usually comes in a pamphlet, in a book. So once you have all that, you could go to irs.com or irs.gov and file for your own EIN number if you want. That's what I do. Or you could just, if you don't want to go through all these things, just do it all through LegalZoom and pay an extra $40 or $35, whatever it may be. I don't remember the price anymore. So LegalZoom, you could do all of that, all the incorporation. You don't really need a lawyer at this point. You can get a lawyer at this point, but I didn't get a lawyer until much, much later. I was just doing this all on my own, basically studying on my own. As you know, I just studied up and figured out how this works. And your accountant at this point, we'll talk about the accountant next, should know about all these things anyway. So if you have any questions during this process, talk to your accountant. In fact, you don't even need to do this through LegalZoom. Your accountant could just go to the city hall or your local commerce chamber of commerce and do this physically. Go to the office and do this physically, and probably pay much less than you're paying with LegalZoom. LegalZoom is just a service that allows you to do this much more quickly and rapidly and in an expedited manner. So, that's a lot. Take notes, guys. Take notes. Or, you know what? Don't even take notes. You don't need to take notes. Just keep on watching this video. Watch it over. The next time you watch it again, then take notes. You don't have to take notes this first time. This first time, just let your mind open. Okay. So now we understand we need a legal business entity because we need protection. We don't want people suing us. If anything happens, they sue the business. And we don't want people taxing us. If taxes need to be filed, it goes to the business. It's this level of separation that you need. So once you incorporate, you want to go to the bank. You go to the bank. I like Bank of America and I like Chase. You know, you go to any bank that you want. You don't need to go to one of those big guys. And you bring these three documents. You bring your EIN number, which the government will issue you, or LegalZoom. It usually takes like a week or two to come. And then what you do is you take your articles of incorporation, the single paper showing that you are now incorporated, this business is incorporated officially within this state at this time until, forever. And then you take your, essentially that's all you really need. You take your license. You could take your entire folder that they're going to give you, a binder of articles of incorporation, all the articles, all the documents. The other one's called the certificate of incorporation. The articles is the binder. Then you bring that to the bank. It sounds complicated, but it's not. You just bring basically everything LegalZoom sends you, including the SS4 number or the EIN number. You just bring that to the bank, and the bank manager or one of the agents will know exactly what to do. They'll set you up with a bank account right away. Get your bank account going. Put a couple dollars in just to start. If you don't, have money coming in yet, just put in, $100, whatever it is. And now you're really in business. Now you have legal protection. Now you're ready to go. You're an official business owner. But I really want you to understand this now. The business is its own body. You control the business, but you don't really own the business. The business owns itself. The only reason that you own the business is because you have a controlling interest in the business. You got to understand this. The business is a self-contained entity. And the only reason that you own the business, is because you have majority control of the business. That's how this works. So say, for instance, you were owned 49% of the business and somebody owned 51% of the business. You don't have control of the business. Technically speaking, you do not control the business. So this is something to take into mind when you're starting the business and you have partners. Now we're going into partnerships. Be very careful of what's going on here at this particular juncture. Because if you don't own a majority share of your business, you're not in control. I mean, you may think you're in control and the people around you may be giving you control, but legally speaking, you do not control your business if you do not own a majority share of your business. I have always kept majority, very, very high majority share of my business, even when other companies and other people who've tried to come in over the years and tried to swoop up, chunks of my business and throw a lot of money at me. And I would always say, nah, I'm okay. Thank you. Because for me, has a lot to do with art. This has a lot to do with philosophy. This has a lot to do with providing the best mate to everyone in the world. So for me, I need to remain in control of the situation of my brand, Circle of Drink. I don't care how much money people throw at me. People want to buy me out. People want to come in. It doesn't matter. Those things don't mean anything to me. What means the most to me is protecting this brand, Circle of Drink, and growing it into a beautiful yerba mate expression that could last forever. So maybe that's not you. I know a lot of people who come into business with 4, 5, 6 different partners, and they each own 20%. So say it's 5 people, you each own 20%. 20 times 5 is 100. So that's okay too. That's a beautiful thing. For me, that doesn't work because my personality is different. I need to have full creative control of my business at this particular point in time. That may change in the future. So from the beginning, I've always told myself that I will never give up full control or majority control of my business. Not yet, at least. Maybe later on, but for now, no. I have majority control. It'll always be that way. Yes, I do have business partners, and I do have people who have interest in my company, but I control everything at the end of the day. So that's what I needed. Look at Mark Zuckerberg. He's an example of Facebook. He doesn't have majority control, but he has enough control to do what he wants to do, even without majority control, but that's another story. Look at people like Jeff Bezos. These people have enough control to dictate the terms of the course of their business, and they always will for the most part. I modeled a lot of my business off of these guys. They taught me a lot about business. Even Rockefeller taught me a lot about business, about remaining in control. I see a lot of business people where they get really excited in the beginning. They're so excited, so they partner with their best friend. And then after 3 months, when things get hard, now the best friend is a 50-50 partner. And then their best friend now wipes out the bank account of the business and runs away and says, oh, I needed the money, sorry. I've seen this happen so many times, it's not even funny. So you don't necessarily want to go into business with your friends. A lot of people don't understand that. Because business, if you have a good friend and you're in business with them, you may say, oh, well, I'm emotional about this. I don't want to hurt my friend's feelings, so I'm going to let my friend do all these things that are going to destroy the company because I don't want to hurt their feelings, so I'm going to let my friend, who's my 50-50 partner, destroy my life, destroy everything I've worked for. No. You have to be careful who you go into business with. You have to be in business with someone where you could talk to frankly, you could talk to directly, you could talk to the business needs to be protected at all costs. It's not all fun and games, when you're starting a business, especially as the business is growing. And this is not all, teddy bears and rainbows and sunshine. A lot of times business gets real serious. A lot of times there's a lot of money involved. A lot of times there's a lot of moves that need to be done. There's a lot of positioning that needs to be done. So who you go into business with needs to be you guys have to be like this. You guys have to have a really strong understanding and understand that you need to be able to talk to each other directly. Otherwise, the business will collapse. So now you understand about incorporating LegalZoom.com. Now let's talk about accounting. Salud. Let me check the comments, see if you guys had any questions. I got a lot of screens open right now. What am I sipping? I'm sipping Yakui pineapple. It's not even on the website yet. If you want it, orders at circleofdrink.com. I'll take care of you. Plug my book, Mateology. Where's my book? I don't even know where my book is. Yeah, it's a good idea. Let me plug my book. Someone just said, share your book. Mateology. Check it out on Amazon. Mateology. This is the Bible of yerba mate. Thank you for that idea. I should share my book more. I should, right? No, that's great, Tyler. I appreciate that, buddy. Let me share your comment. I forgot how to share comments. Let's see. So make some mate for yourselves. This is a little intermission. I'm trying to remember how to share comments on this thing. All right, that doesn't matter. If you guys have any questions, keep on asking. Let's get this bad boy going. Oh, I know what's going on. All right. All right. So, accounting. Let's get into accounting. What's going on with accounting? The Mate Don. You're going to need a good accountant. Think of an accountant as the doctor, the financial doctor of your business. Oh, this is where the comments are. I was looking for that. Let me test that out. Haha, I figured it out. Yes. I just wanted to see how I got the comments back onto the page. I forgot how to do that. Let me get rid of it. All right, cool. All right, so now think of the accountant of your business as the financial doctor. You need an accountant, okay? Now, can you get away without having an accountant? Yes. You could go to H&R Block, you could go to, I think it's called Jackson Hewitt, you could go to all these people, TurboTax.com, and you could use a general boilerplate accounting service to do your accounting. Or you could go get your own private accountant. And a lot of times these private accountants actually do work at H&R Block or TurboTax, but they do their own stuff on the side. So the reason why you need an accountant is because you need someone who fully understands the true nature, the true financial scope of your business. You need someone who understands, remember, this is an online business. We're talking about online businesses. So we need someone who fully understands how to file taxes from online sales, how to look at different reports from Amazon, reports from Etsy, reports from PayPal, all your payment processors. You need someone who understands all these things. A lot of accountants do not understand online business. Let me repeat that. A lot of accountants do not understand online business. There's a lot of mom and pop accountants, and I've had so many of them in the early years that have no idea of what's going on the internet. They really don't know. So they'll mess up your numbers so many times. Years ago, I had this messy situation with the IRS, real messy situation with the state of New York because my accounting was done wrong for years. And when I finally found the accountant that I've been with for like 4 years now, it was like a godsend. I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. This accountant has been the best accountant in my life. They were able to look into my business and say, Dave, no, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to restructure this, we're going to restructure that. Here's your license for reselling, here's your license for this, here's your license to save taxes on that. And for me, it was like, boom, it was crazy explosion of clarity. But it took me about 6 years to find the right accountant. For 6 years, I was going from accountant to accountant to accountant to accountant. And for me back then, it was like, oh, okay, I don't want to pay $1,000. I don't want to pay $3,000. I want to pay $4,000 for a really good accountant. I just want to pay $100. I just want to pay $200. I just want to pay $70. And I got what I paid for. Usually in life, you get what you pay for. So if you go to these people who will just hoodwink you, yes, maybe they are accountants. Yes, maybe they have their CPA. But a lot of accountants out there, they don't care about your business. They don't care about you. All they care about is getting this little fee of like, $100 or $200. And they're going to not even file the taxes themselves. They're going to hand it off to their people below them who are just going to fill it out and be like, all right, let's get it done. I don't care about all the details. Let me just file it. And then 6 months later, a year later, or 2 years later, you're getting a call from the IRS. You're getting a call from the state of New York or whatever your state is. And then you got to do all these negotiations. You got to figure all these things out. It's a mess. So my advice to you is to find a true accountant who really cares about you, who really cares about your business, who will really teach you. Think about doctors. There's two different types of doctors, generally speaking. You got one doctor, you walk into their office, they're totally cold with you. They don't care about you. They're just like, here's your blood pressure. Here's your glucose levels. This is what's going on with you. Get out of my office. Get the hell out of here. They don't care. There's no personal connection. And then you have another sort of doctor who's like, oh, Dave, how are you doing? How's your family? Do you have any questions? How could I service you? Do you want to understand what's going on with your blood? Do you want to understand what's going on with your calcium? Do you want to understand what's going on with your potassium? I'm here to teach you, Dave. You're paying me to teach you. I'm going to teach you about medicine. I'm going to educate you so you understand. Same analogy, same thing with an accountant. You want an accountant who's going to educate you. You want an accountant who's going to really care about your business, because as you grow, their fees will grow along with you. I have an accountant now. As I've grown exponentially, their fees have grown, not exponentially, but their fees have grown as well. And that makes sense. I'm happy to pay more. I'm happy to pay more because as I grow, my accountant has more work to do. So their retainer grows a little bit larger and a little bit larger, to some degree, but that's expected. So you want an accountant who's really going to know their worth and really going to know their value, and they're really going to help you out with your structure of your business and your accounting. So do not skimp on accounting. You need an accountant. Please get an accountant. Even if it's just an accountant you find online through Upwork.com or Craigslist, find one that's good that you could actually read reviews about, and then be honest. You have to be honest when you have an accountant. You can't hide things from them. Let them know all the credit cards you have. Let them know all the debt you have. Let them know all the loans. It's like speaking to a psychiatrist. You got to be honest and be open. Same thing with your accountant. Be honest, be open. Don't be embarrassed about things. Maybe there's some expenses that you made, or maybe there's things that you did with the business that you may be embarrassed about. Get beyond all that. Tell your accountant everything about the business, and that accountant will help you. And if it's a good accountant, they're going to be able to save you so much money. I was able to save a lot of money over the years because my accountant came in with new information, with new structures, and then I started to think. About this. This was like, wow. I started to think, oh my God, what about all those people out there who just don't know? Who just don't know about proper accounting, who just don't know about, these tax benefits, who just don't know about these structures. And they're just running a business blind, and nobody's telling them. And then I started thinking about some of my friends who have really legitimate big businesses. And then I started to talk to them about their accountants, and they're like, yeah, Dave, yeah, I know about this, I know about that. We're doing this structure, we're doing that. I'm like, oh my God, there's a whole nother world out there of true accounting, of where accountants could really help shape your business, the financial structure of your business. But if you don't know, and you're just dealing with some mom and pop people, no offense, but just some mom and pop accountants who don't know, because there's a lot of mom and pop accountants who don't know these things and who don't care about teaching you these things, you're going to end up losing a lot of money. A lot of money you will lose over the years. Think about it this way. Say you find an accountant who saves you $10,000 a year, because up until that point, you didn't have this information. $10,000 a year, 10 years, okay? $100,000. In 10 years, you lost $100,000, literally speaking. But it could be $1 million, because what if you had that $100,000 all along and investing that money, growing at compound interest, or even buying other products to sell for higher profit margins? The consequences of that could be millions of dollars. So trust me, it matters when you have the right accountant. I cannot stress that enough. You need the right accountant. And don't be scared to keep on looking around. Don't be scared to fire people if you have to. Remember, you're in control. If your accountant is not serving you well, fire them. Say, thank you for your service. Goodbye. There's been many accountants that said, thank you, goodbye. I don't need you anymore. Thank you, goodbye. Practice with me. Thank you, goodbye. You have to have this mentality, because you can't let people come into your business and destroy it slowly and just, suck out your money slowly and destroy everything you built slowly. And it's so imperceptible that you may not even notice it, or you may not even realize it. But when it comes to, now we're getting back into like contracts. Let's talk about contracts now and things like that. So we spoke about incorporating, we spoke about accounting. Now we're going to talk a little bit about contracts. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Brian, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man? How's everything? Zane, what you talking about, Zane? There is a law from the 1850s in Paraguay that requires your agent at least 2 years. I didn't know that. Someone's asking, what licenses do I need to get before starting a business? Well, keep in mind, licenses really have to do with the state level. So for me, I got a reseller's license that allows me to resell products. I have a different sort of license that allows me to be tax exempt when I buy certain products from people within New York. I don't have to pay taxes on those certain products because I'm going to be reselling them and then taxing the customer. So there's no double taxation. So you don't want to pay taxes 2 times on the same product. So you have to get a reseller's license, and you need a tax exempt license as well when you're buying products from vendors within your state and then reselling them. There should only be sales tax occurring once on that product, not 2 or 3 or 4 times. So wherever you're at, you want to talk to your accountant about a reseller's license in your state and a tax exempt license in your state. And these are a lot of the nuances that I didn't figure out until years into the business. So talk about these things with your accountant now. It's so funny the other day. I was looking at videos on YouTube just to get inspiration of people who. There's a video I saw the other day: 6 ways to start an online clothing company. It was something like that, and I was actually kind of laughing because the girl who made this video, I'm not making fun of her, but I just found it really interesting. She went through 6 ways. She just said, okay, come up with a name, start a website, incorporate, buy products, partner with people. That's how you start a business. But that's not how you start a business. Those are just 6 little bullet points that don't say anything. That doesn't mean anything. Start a website, but how do you start a website? Which website should you start? What are the implications of using one service over another? Oh, a name. What sort of name should you come up with? Why should you come up with a name? Design of a name, branding of a name, philosophy of a name. So if you go onto YouTube, you're going to see like these funny comical videos, 6 ways to start a business online. And they're just going to say 6 bullet points, but there's not going to be any talking. I mean, I'm like, what the hell is this? It doesn't mean anything. What I'm trying to convey to you guys is that it's not easy. It doesn't matter how much money you're making in business, how much money you're not making. I just want to convey to you, this is not easy. It may seem like it's easy. It may seem like, yeah, everyone wants to go and make a business and make money. But I'm going to tell you, it takes a chunk out of your life, business. This is how this universe works. Whatever you get, you must give. So as you grow in business, you're giving a part of your soul away. And that's beautiful because that's called an exchange. Energy must be exchanged. You could recoup that energy, of course, and keep on expanding your energy. But I want you to understand that everything you do in business is going to take a piece out of you. It's going to take a chunk out of you. You may have seen me traveling for 10 years in different countries and doing all sorts of things, having fun, going to Brazil, going to Thailand, going to Cambodia, going all over the world. But I want you to understand that none of this was easy. This took a chunk out of me. It's still taking a chunk out of me. It takes so much energy to maintain a business, to grow a business, intellectual energy, energy of understanding finance, energy of understanding math, energy of understanding philosophy, energy of understanding design, energy of understanding the product, yerba mate, let alone the product, becoming an expert on the product, energy of dealing with banks, energy of dealing with partners, energy of dealing with enemies who are trying to stop you at any given point, enemies popping up all over the place like weeds trying to surround you, coming up with lies about you. Get ready for them. They'll be all over the place. Battling with people who are jealous of you, battling with the people who are envious of you, battling with competitors. This takes tremendous energy. I need you to understand that this is not a walk in the park. This is why I really believe that, you got to be born for this. You have to be born for this. If you're not born for this, then you could try to be this. Because the mind is plastic. Yes, the mind is plastic. The mind can be molded and shaped. You could mold your mind and shape your mind into becoming a business person. Yes. But I truly believe that the real main thrust here is the people who were born with this energy. Some people were born with this. So I just had to say that. Salud. I just want you to know. This is not a walk in the park of business, man. Get ready. Strap in. Buckle up. Yeah. You got to ask yourself one day, like, okay, when you find yourself in business and your business is making a lot of money, whatever you determine that means, making a lot of money, you got to ask yourself, is this good for me, though? Am I happy doing this? Is this something I'm passionate about? Because if you're just making a lot of money, but it's destroying your soul, then God bless you, because the consequences of that have spiritual implications. And, we're not going to go off too deep into metaphysics, but, That's an ugly situation, in my opinion. When something's destroying your soul, but yeah, you're getting rich off of it, but it's destroying your soul. Whew, that's a heavy, heavy, heavy burden to bear. Salud. So just know what you're doing and know what you want, because what you want, what you truly want, the universe will give you. Anything that you truly want, I don't care if it's good or bad or whatever it is, just know that anything that you truly want and that you're working for this, whether it's you're working with good or you're working with evil, you're going to get it eventually. But you're going to have to pay for it. Anything that you get, you must pay for. There's no such thing as free in this world. Nothing is free. Literally speaking, nothing is free. This whole idea of energy is free, free love, kumbaya, all this, hippie jargon, everything's free, free love, communism, all this. Nothing's free, my friends. Everything has a price. Everything has a price. So, let's talk about contracts. Contracts. What are contracts? Do you need contracts? So, a lot of times when you're starting a business, especially tea business online, you're not going to be dealing with contracts. You're just going to say, okay, let me buy some tea from somebody in Argentina or somebody in Egypt, and you buy it and you package it up and you resell it, or you mix it up with stuff and you rebrand it, and it's your own brand, and that's it. You really didn't need a contract. It's just you buy and you sell. That's beautiful. That's fine. 95% of the time, that's all this business is. There's no contracts in terms of buying and selling different herbs. You just buy it and you sell it, and you use it as a material, or you use it for whatever you want. So another video we'll talk about finding suppliers, things like that. But for now, we're speaking generally, contracts. So you're not going to need contracts. But then there's other types of contracts. So say, for instance, you find a product that nobody's selling in your country, and you want to be the only person that sells it either throughout the entire country or a particular region. So you approach a supplier and you say, listen, I really admire your brand. I really love it, actually. And this is a real scenario I'm giving you. I've really done this many times with different companies. And Andy, what's up, man? You're probably watching this video, aren't you? I lost my train of thought. So you say, listen, I love your brand. I love your company. I really do. Could I sell it? Could I be your ambassador in the United States? Or could I be your ambassador of this particular product on the East Coast of the United States, whatever it may be? And then, you write them an email, you give them an introduction, and you say, you tell them what you want to do. And here's a little secret. Let me give you a little secret. What you want to do is you want to throw some money at them. This sounds kind of grotesque, but I'm serious. If you are serious about representing somebody's company, then show them that you're serious and buy their product. Buy their product. You know how many emails I get every single day? People who are like, Dave, I want to partner with you. I want to partner with you. But they're not even willing to buy anything from me. They're just like, I want to partner with you. I want to partner with you. Send me samples for free. Give me all this stuff for free. Give me information for free. Consult with me for free. This mentality is disgusting. I hate to say it. I'm a part of this millennial group. I'm a millennial, but the millennials don't understand. You can't just call somebody up and say, gimme, and not be willing to do anything. It doesn't work that way, my friends. It doesn't work that way. So, I'm getting a lot of crazy emails right now. So when I approach these companies, by that point, I've already purchased their product without them even knowing. And I say, listen, I've been drinking your product for weeks and I love it. This stuff is amazing. How could I get a deal here? How could I start promoting your product? So at many times the company will say, Dave, thank you so much. We're not really, maybe we don't want to do an exclusive deal or anything, but just keep on buying from us and let's see what you do. Let's see what you could do with our company. So a lot of times I'll impress them so much that they'll be like, okay, let's do an exclusive deal now. So now comes time for the contract. So this is a very common contract in food business. It's called an exclusive distribution contract. Write that down, or come back later and watch this video and write it down later. Exclusive distribution contract. This is a beautiful contract. This is a nice contract because it allows you to exclusively distribute a product in a certain region for a certain period of time under certain terms. And don't underestimate the power of such a contract. Because if you're bringing in a product to a new country, a new region, and you start to promote it and it starts to do very well, there's going to be other people who come in and be like, oh my God, how do I get a piece of that? How do I get a piece of that? They can't get a piece of it. They can't get a piece of it because you control it, because you have the contract. This is the beauty of contracts. Now, let me tell you the downside of not having a contract. There's been so many times, not so many, but a few times when I had to learn this the hard way, where I met somebody who had a really good product, and I tried to create an exclusive with them, and they were like, no, Dave, we don't need a contract. Just trust me. You have the exclusive. So 1 year goes by, I'm selling their product, making them a ton of money. I'm making good money. We're helping out people like you who are buying the product. Everybody's winning. All parties are winning. The customer, the vendor, and the distributor, myself. We'll talk about that relationship later, customer, vendor, distributor, things like that. But so 2 years goes by, and then 3 years comes, and the person's like, oh, Dave, thanks for all your help. Hold on a second. Getting crazy calls. So after a couple years, they're like, Dave, thanks for all your help. But guess what, Dave? We're going with somebody else now. We're going with this other company who's going to be selling, who's going to be buying more. Thanks for doing all your hard work, Dave. This has happened a couple times with me. And this is what really helped me to really start to come up with contracts now. I had to learn this the hard way. So think about the implications. For 3 years, Circle of Drink is doing photography for a company, is positioning their content, positioning their brand, introducing their brand, and the contract is just under the table. Oh, take my word for it. Take my word for it, Dave. We don't need a contract. No contract. Don't worry. My word is my bond. And then after 3 years, because there was no legal contract, it was an inverse relationship. Inverse relationship. What does that mean? That means that I was bearing all the risk and the supplier had 100% of the reward with 0% risk. Inverse relationship. The relationship was not one-to-one. You need relationships that are one-to-one. And the only way to have a relationship that's one-to-one is with a contract on paper, written, notarized, signed, and dated with your both legal parties on the contract. So, in the beginning, you may not need contracts because you're just not doing that level of business. You don't have exclusives. You don't need exclusives. Most people, they're never going to need these things. In my business, I'm dealing with food. I'm dealing with herbs. I'm dealing with, coming up with new innovations around these herbs. So for me, contracts, very important. For my organization, contracts are very important. So you're going to need a lawyer. You're going to need a lawyer to come up with these contracts. And when you come up with a contract with a lawyer, my advice to you is for you to come up with a bullet point of exactly how you would articulate the contract. Now, remember, you're not a lawyer. You're probably not a lawyer. If you are, great for you. But you're probably not a lawyer, so it doesn't matter. At this point, you're just coming up with a document with how you would articulate the contract. And when you're thinking about this, you want to think about like you're talking to a 7-year-old. I know that sounds weird, but it's true. A contract should be so simple to the point where somebody who's 7 or 10 years old could basically understand the contract. You don't want to get into these crazy contracts where things are so confusing and so malleable and so open and so flexible to the point where the contract isn't really a contract anymore. It's just a poem. This is not poetry. This is business. So you want to have a clear, concise contract. This is what will happen. This is what I agree to. This is what you agree to. Both parties agree. This is how it's going to be. 1, 2, 3, dot, sign, date, notarize. That's the contract. Keep a physical copy of the contract yourself. Don't just keep a digital contract. Keep a physical copy of the contract yourself and keep a digital. Wow. Hold on a second. Getting crazy calls here. Sorry, guys. Let's see. Salud, folks. Take a sip of your mate. All right. So, contracts are important. That's what I'm trying to convey here. Contracts are very important. Let me see what the comments are saying. When I partner, can I put my brand name on my partner? When I partner, can I put my brand name or my partners? I'm not sure exactly what you mean, Miriam. Could you elaborate? Put your name where exactly? Can you put your brand name or my partners? I'm not sure exactly what you mean, but when you partner with somebody, remember, the business is the business, so there's a legal business name. But you could have, since you're a partner with the person, each party that's a partner on paper could sign. So you could use your name to sign for legal documents, and your partner could use their name to sign for legal documents. That's okay if that's what you're asking. But remember, the business is the business. The business is its own entity, but the partner has complete authority in most cases to sign on behalf of the business, just as you do, if you guys are true partners. Unless there's some term stipulating which partner could do what, or what partner could do a certain thing or not do a certain thing. Okay. So the product. Let me actually post this comment on here so people could watch this. Okay. So I think I understand what you're saying. So I have a couple situations like this where I have partners, and basically we have situations where it's like a co-branding situation where my brand will be on the product and their brand will be on the product too. And we'll have our own stipulations. So we're not partners in terms of our entities. My company is mine, their company is theirs, but we came up with a product together that we both agreed together to have both branding on the particular package. And that's basically fine because we have our own agreement between ourselves, not even between our companies, between ourselves, that this is how it's going to work. And those situations, that's very common actually. That happens all the time. It's like called a co-branding situation, a co-branding product. So yeah, you're allowed to have as many brands as you want on a particular product as long as all parties are in agreement. That's a good question too, because that kind of segues into trademarks and registration. Let's talk about that. So after you create your brand, like we spoke about last week or 2 weeks ago, this is kind of expensive, so you don't have to do it right away, but do it when you get the money. You want to register your brand with the government. With the trademark office, you want to register your name. So the good thing about registering your name, every time you see that little R next to a sign, next to a logo, is this one? It's not even on here, is it? It's not on this one. I'm sure they're registered though. That means that company is legally protected within that particular category. So nobody in the world, or nobody, at least in the United States, could ever use this term champion for clothing. If anyone does that, they could be sued in court for damages. Now, a trademark isn't a law that says a person cannot do or cannot do something. A trademark is just a form of protection that allows you later on, if needed, to sue somebody who infringed upon that protection. Okay? So the trademark is not going to stop anyone from trying to steal from you or trying to use your brand. It's just a preventative measure. So if someone does start to use your brand in a particular category, so say for instance, if somebody were to use Circle of Drink in the tea category, I could sue them because I own this term Circle of Drink. I own this. I don't own it. My company owns it. Okay? So Circle of Drink, the name, is owned by Circle of Drink Incorporated. You understand? We're coming full circle now. Circle of Drink, the name, is owned by Circle of Drink Incorporated. I don't own Circle of Drink Incorporated. I control Circle of Drink Incorporated, but I don't own it. We could say theoretically that I own it because I control it, but I do not own it. Okay? And then Circle of Drink Incorporated owns the Circle of Drink trademark. Circle of Drink Incorporated owns the assets of Circle of Drink, and the trademark is an asset of Circle of Drink. So I do not own Circle of Drink trademark. I don't own it. Technically speaking, I do not own it. I control Circle of Drink that owns Circle of Drink trademark. You understand? This is very, very important to understand this. It's very subtle, but it's very important to understand this. Okay? Exactly. It's like a subcategory. Because you don't personally want to own anything. I mean, this may sound crazy, but I try to prevent myself from owning as many things as possible. I'd rather have my company own things. I don't want to own them because if I get sued by somebody, they can't come after my personal assets. My personal, well, I shouldn't say that. They can come after my personal assets, but they cannot come after my business assets. So the business should own everything. Anything to do with your business, you should not personally own. The business should own it. Very important to understand because if you get sued, they can't come after your business. They can't come after anything within your business. They could come after your own personal stuff, yes. Okay, and vice versa. If your business gets sued, then they can only go after the business. They can go after the business, but they can't go after you. So this is very important to understand. So thank you, Marion. Appreciate that. And a lot of these things I just learned from talking to accountants over the years. I still talk to them now. Every couple months I have a meeting with my accountant, talking with lawyers, asking them questions. You got to have that mind where you just keep on asking questions. You got to be like a badger. Ask questions, ask questions, ask questions, ask questions. Not only ask questions, go back home, Google. Google is the greatest library on the planet Earth right now. The greatest library on the earth. Greater than the Library of Alexandria, greater than any one of these historical libraries, Google is the greatest library on the earth right now. Use Google to your advantage. Google has the answers. Okay? It's just now it's your job to filter through the noise. There's a lot of noise on Google, and Google doesn't really necessarily want you to read, the good stuff right away. They want you to keep on surfing around sometimes and looking at little snippets here and there. But no, you got to take control, study, understand, and educate yourself as best as you can. So when you talk to the accountant and you talk to the lawyer and you're coming up with contracts, you already have some fundamental understanding of what you want to do. Because if you have zero fundamental understanding of any of these things, then, and I hate to sound pessimistic, I really am not trying to sound pessimistic, but I'm just trying to tell you the truth here. Maybe it's because I'm from New York and I've experienced a lot of these things, nitty-gritty things that happen in New York. But if you don't have any understanding, then people will take advantage of you. I hate to say that, and it sounds so sad, and it sounds so horrible and dark, but it's true. I got to tell you the truth. No one's going to tell you the truth. All these people on YouTube are making these videos. They're going to be, oh, guys, yeah, make a business, start a business. Everything's good. Everything's easy. No. I'm sorry. But you have to understand that there's humans out there who will do dark things and that will rob you and steal you from you and take advantage of you and tell you that, this is how something is when it's really not. Trust me, I've come across these people. I come across them all the time. They're vipers. They're the bane of society, and they'll do anything to screw you over. That's why your greatest protection is your mind. Your greatest protection is educating yourself as best as you can, clearing your heart as best as you can, cleaning your spirit as best as you can, having a clear thought process as best as you can so you could discern the bad from the good. And I use these terms with air quotes because there is no absolute bad, there is no absolute good. We're not going into that. But in business, it's so easy to be taken advantage of. Very, very, very easy to be taken advantage of if you don't know what you're doing. I just have to tell you the truth. No one's going to tell you the truth. They don't want you to know the truth. They'd rather you not know these things and waste their money and waste your time and waste your efforts so they could come in and take it. but I don't want you guys to lose money. I don't want you to lose energy. But the reality is sometimes that's the only way you're going to learn. You know, you got to learn the hard way sometimes. Okay. So I think we spoke about all the things I wanted to speak about. Let me double check my notes. So to recap, we spoke about incorporating. You know, you want to get your legal entity. You could do that on LegalZoom.com. Go to your local chamber of commerce. You want to get your EIN number, your tax number for your business. Go to the bank, set up your bank account, business bank account. Don't use your bank account for anything anymore when it comes to the business. Only use the business bank account. You do not want to commingle your funds with the business funds. In the beginning, it's expected. That may happen. But as you grow, you really want to delineate your business capital from your personal capital. If you do use your own personal capital, which many business people will do in the beginning when you're first starting, remember, the real way to do it is to give your business a loan. So say, for instance, I don't want to go too much into this because it gets kind of crazy, but here's the fundamental thing. When you're starting a business, it's a brand new business. Where do you get the money to start the business? Well, the business hasn't existed yet up until this point. So there's no money. It hasn't produced any money. So where do you get the money? You get the money from other places, from your own money. So now you're taking your own money and putting it into the business money. Think about it as two different buckets. One bucket is your money. Another bucket is the new business money, the new business bank account. And you're taking your money and you're putting it in there. So what do you think happens now? What happens is that technically speaking, you're giving your business a loan. You're giving your business a loan. This is all money you're loaning your business. So later on in time, the business will have to give you back that money. So talk to your accountant. This is a very important thing. Talk to your accountant in the beginning and say, listen, I put up $10,000 out of my own money into this business. So I want you to understand that this is a loan that I'm giving my business and I need to get this money back. Okay? So this is very good to understand because now your business immediately is going to be paying $10,000 less in taxes because your business owes somebody is in $10,000 in debt and owes you that money. So as your business grows and expands, you may not pay any taxes for several years. Look at Amazon. Amazon didn't pay taxes for 20 years. If you could understand why a company like Amazon that's doing hundreds of millions of dollars did not pay taxes for 20 years, if you understand how that works, then you'll understand what I'm talking about right now. So research this case study. The fundamental thing is that Jeff Bezos, when he started his company, he wanted to keep on growing. And he knew that if he were to stop investing in the company and just take the profits, all right, I take $1 million, take 10 million, yeah, go buy a yacht. No. Jeff was not thinking this way. For 20 years, Jeff was saying, give me more money. He was telling his board, he was telling Wall Street, he was telling the world, give me more, let me grow. I want to take that money and keep on reinvesting it. So as the company reinvests, it goes into debt. As the debt grows, the tax liability decreases. They don't have to pay taxes because they're not making any money. They're not net positive yet. The only time you pay taxes is when you're net positive. So think about it as a line. This is the business, okay? And as the business grows, this money is going back under the business to keep on getting it higher, to keep on getting it growing and expanding. And as long as the debt continues to grow, you don't have to pay any taxes against that. This is offsetting the taxes of every single year. And you're carrying the debt every single year. You're just carrying the debt. So essentially, you could have a business that's producing millions of dollars and you're not paying any taxes because there's no profit. Now, you could still be getting paid on payroll. That's another thing. That's payroll. So think about it this way. You could still get money out of the business because you're on payroll. I should talk about that now. Payroll. Payroll allows you to take money out of the business and you're paying taxes, payroll tax on what you're paying yourself. But the company as a whole may not be profitable because you keep on reinvesting. All the earnings are reinvested back into the company. So you're still able to pull money out of the company, which is a beautiful thing because you got to survive, you have to eat, but you're not paying any taxes on the company because all that money is being reinvested every single year until the point where you reach a critical juncture where you say, okay, I just spent a month, a year or 2 years, or maybe even 5 or 10 years growing the business, pushing out my competitors, reinvesting in new markets, reinvesting in new innovations. Now let's turn a profit. Now let's start to take profit. Now let me increase my pay. Now let me take some money out and go buy a condo, go buy a Bentley, whatever you want to do, whatever your thing is. Or maybe not, just keep the money in the bank and live well, travel, whatever you want to do. So what I'm trying to help you understand is how this thing works with taxes and how it works with reinvesting and reinvest. When you're first starting the company, you want to keep on reinvesting as much as you can. Reinvesting is so important. Put money back into the business. If you truly believe in the business, keep on putting money back, keep on putting money back, keep on putting money back. And the good thing about that is you don't have to, your tax liability is not large because the money, there's no profit. You understand? Study this case study with Amazon to help you understand what I'm talking about here. It's not so easy to articulate these terms, these topics. So we spoke about getting a good accountant. You need a good accountant. Open up your bank account. What did I want to talk about? There was another thing I wanted to say. Oh, okay. So bookkeeping, this kind of is a part of accounting. There's different services that you could use for bookkeeping. Bookkeeping is a little bit different from accounting. Think of bookkeeping as a component of accounting. And bookkeeping is just keeping the books, keeping the records of everything. I like to use Google Drive for bookkeeping, and I like to use QuickBooks. I use these two things for bookkeeping, Google Drive and QuickBooks. QuickBooks is a program. It's a software application on the web, in the cloud, that allows you to send out invoices to people, which is great. Many of you watching this video probably received an invoice from me or somebody at my company recently. And QuickBooks allows you to receive money, and it has a record of all the transactions. So if I send somebody an invoice, I send you an invoice, QuickBooks emails it to them. They open up their email, and this is beautiful because they could just say, okay, here's my credit card. I put it into the email, and now Circle of Drink receives the funds. Beautiful. And now QuickBooks has a record, or PDF, of those funds. So at the end of the year or at the end of the quarter, however often you're filing, your accountant has access to your QuickBooks, and they say, okay, Dave, well, I know exactly how much money you made. Here are all the invoices. That's what fundamentally it means, bookkeeping. Now, there's another aspect of bookkeeping, which, it's basically just organizing receipts. So say, for instance, you have 10 different credit cards that are associated with your business, you're using for your business. What I like to do is this. Personally, this is what I do. I just sign on to Google Drive. Google Drive is an online file storage software. That's one aspect of it. It could do many things, but just think about it, Google Drive as a digital file storage. And I create a folder. Think about this as a tree structure. The main level folder is called accounting, okay? And then you open up accounting. Think three-dimensionally with me here. You open up that accounting folder, and now 2020. The year is 2020. So now you go a level deeper. You open up 2020, and now you have more subcategories. One subcategory could be bank accounts, credit card accounts, loans. So say, for instance, now I click into credit card accounts. Now I have all my credit cards in there. So I have Barclays, I have American Express, I have Citibank, whatever it is. And now I open that up, and now I have all my statements of my Amex card in there. From January to the whole year, all my statements of Citibank, all my statements of Chase. You understand the structure? So now, if I go all the way back out to the main level of the structure, where it's just accounting, and then it's 2020, second level of the structure, my accountant now has access to everything, all the activity, all the statements. So it's very important to keep a record of every single expense of your company. Any credit card that you're using, it doesn't matter if it's a personal credit card. If you're using it for business purposes, it now becomes a business credit card, okay? And everything that you buy, if I went to Starbucks and I had a meeting with someone there and I bought some coffee, I'm going to write that off. I'm going to say, my accountant, okay, I went to Starbucks. So you want to think of your credit cards as expenses for your business if you're using your credit cards for your business. We could talk about credit cards in another video. There's so many techniques you could use credit cards in a healthy way to help your business. But right now, just understand that any credit card that you have and you're using it for your business, that's a business expense that you could write that off. So if you spend $50 at Starbucks for business purposes, you're going to pay $50 less in taxes. You're going to be $50 less liable for taxes. Okay? So same thing happens with loans. So you have another structure. It's called accounting, 2020 loans. Okay? Now you're in loans. And now maybe you have a loan from your brother, or a loan from Bank of America, or a loan from PayPal, or a loan from whatever it is. I'm going to speak about loans in a second, actually. I have some interesting information on that. You want to have the terms of the loans in that structure, so your accountant knows the terms of the loans. And then, what is that? Even though I never really... Oh, thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. You want to have the terms of the loans in that structure, so your accountant can write off everything that you paid against that loan throughout the year. Now, speaking of loans, I just want to segue just a little bit into loans, actually, because this is interesting, especially as it relates to online businesses. I'm going to give you guys some information that you probably never even considered here. Let me give you a secret weapon right now, actually. This is a secret weapon that nobody ever taught me. Here's the beauty of starting an online business. When you have an online business, obviously you need to accept money online, right? That's an online business. You need to accept money online. In order to accept money online, you need something called a payment processor. A payment processor is a third party, like PayPal or QuickBooks or even Amazon, that allows you to process payments on your website. Stripe is another one. So if your business starts to do well, and let's say, for instance, you did $20,000 the first year in revenue, okay? That's a nice little milestone, $20,000 for the first year of you just starting a business. That's not bad, okay? So if you continue to do, let's say, $20,000, right? And then now you're into your second year, and it's the first quarter into the second year, and you're at like $25,000, $23,000. These payment processors are going to take notice, because the payment processor, like PayPal or QuickBooks, they're studying. You gave them permission, this is a part of their contracts, to study your sales. So nowadays, all the major processors are giving loans to companies that are using them, because they're able to study your own credit worthiness. They're able to study the transactions that are coming in, the velocity of the transactions, the amounts of the transactions. So when I was just getting started after a couple of years in, PayPal approached me many times. And they're like, Dave, wow, you're doing very good sales. You're bringing in X amount of money, so we're going to give you a $20,000 loan at a very good term. And many years I used these loans from PayPal and other vendors where they gave me $20,000, $5,000, $30,000, whatever it may be. And these loans, they were very good, but you have to be careful when you take these loans out, because you got to really have the math understood very well. You have to understand the spread. You have to understand, okay, well, if this company is charging me, let's say 10%, okay, I need to make more than 10% in profit in order to justify this loan. So you got to really come up with the numbers and really build a spreadsheet. Google Documents is good for this because they allow you to use spreadsheets for this. Just use a spreadsheet. And if you don't know how to figure out the math, then talk to your accountant or talk to someone who understands numbers. Remember, you need at least one person in your business who's good at understanding numbers, who can understand the math very easily. That may be your accountant, it may be you, or it may be your partner. But you need at least one person in the business that has a mathematical understanding of things and that can come up with percentages, understands numbers, understands differences, understands margins and prices, understands this sort of analysis that needs to be understood. So if you get a loan that you have to pay back at a 10% rate, let's call it a fixed 10% rate, fixed, you better make sure that you're going to be, using that loan to bring in something that brings in 40% profit margin. Because if you don't have at least a 20% profit margin on a product that you acquired on a 10% fixed loan, then those margins don't really make that much sense to me. Okay? So be careful when you take out loans. But what I'm trying to say here is that you could find the money. If you could prove to these payment processors that you are doing legitimate business with PayPal, using PayPal as a processor, you pay PayPal $30 a month and they give you a dedicated processor, which means that your customer does not have to go back to PayPal to purchase something. It's all seamless, integrated. If you go to circledrink.com, you notice that there's many ways to pay. Okay? There's a button that says PayPal. That'll take you to PayPal if you press that button. But then there's another section that just asks you for your credit card. Well, people don't know, because you would never know unless you're a programmer, that PayPal is actually processing those payments on behalf of Circle of Drink. But it's a special service of PayPal called PayPal Business that allows you to do it seamlessly, where no one knows that it's PayPal. They're just processing their credit card through PayPal. So after years of being in business, PayPal has trusted me to say, okay, Circle of Drink has done very well with us, so here's $20,000 at a certain percentage. So that's ways to fund your business. You could fund your business if you could prove to PayPal, if you could prove to QuickBooks, if you could prove to Amazon that you're doing legitimate business and you have at least, let's say $20,000 a year coming into that particular business. And then the next year you could get a nice loan that changes your entire life. Literally, if you could figure out how to leverage loans, leverage debt, you could expand very rapidly, very quickly into new verticals, new sectors, and that injection of cash could change the entire landscape of your business. Wow. That was a brain twister. So I think I went over everything that I wanted to go over. Just to recap, QuickBooks and FreshBooks. QuickBooks.com and FreshBooks.com. That's another one. FreshBooks is a simpler one. That's if your business is just very simple. You're just like a designer, or you're just literally selling one product or two products. And then FreshBooks is okay. That allows you to get invoices and it allows you to maintain the books pretty easily. 1 second. I hear somebody. Wow. The spirits are here. The spirits are here, guys. Whenever I'm here, the spirits are here. And that's a good thing. I just heard somebody walking right behind me. Nobody was there. So that's a good thing. I'm surrounded by a lot of protection, a lot of protective energy. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of what I wanted to speak about. Get yourself a lawyer when the time comes. Understand contracts. Understand what it means to incorporate. Very important. Just try to be as smart as you can. I know that may sound kind of conceited when I say something like that, but I'm just speaking literally. Just try to be as smart as you can when it comes to these things. Understand, study, have an open heart, have an open mind. Does anybody have any final questions? Let me know. This is the time. Oh, thank you, brother. I appreciate that, Tyler. Got you, man. Wow, there's some crazy activity. Oh my gosh. They're speaking to me. So I guess that's it, folks. This was the third installment. Wow, this video went for an hour and a half. That's crazy. Thank you so much for chiming in. I just want to keep on producing these videos for the next couple months or the next couple weeks about the helping people with online tea businesses. Later on, we'll get back to the regular circles where we're just talking about crazy things, philosophy, life, even though we are still kind of talking about those things now. We have a couple new brands, Yakui, pineapple and mint, instant yerba mate, instant, just add that powder, icy mint, Tadade, super explosive, powerful, Schneider, very strong, robust, potent. So that's it, folks. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Last question. Wants asking me, how do I divide ownership? Well, it really depends. You know, usually when I start a business, it's just me starting it. And then later on, if people come in that offer a certain value, whether that be through capital or through advice or whatever it may be, connections, then we come up with agreements to, you know, this is what their role in the company is going to be. This is what percentage they may obtain, and everything's on paper. So it's a really organic process when we're coming up with ownership and coming up with who's going to control what percentage of the business. But it's just, at the end of the day, it has to make sense. It has to work for all parties, and everyone fully needs to understand their own responsibilities within the organization. So I think that's it, folks. Salud. Thank you so much. Check out circleofdrink.com if you want to experience yerba mate. Have a lot of different brands. Subscribe to this video. Like this video. That kind of helps the video gain traction on YouTube. Share this video with your friends and family, whoever is interested in learning about online business. As you saw, this video, I dove deep. You know, I really kind of dove deep. It's not your typical video, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, quick steps, 3-minute video on how to start a business where you watch the whole video and you're like, I still don't know what the heck to do. At least with these videos, you're going to think. You're going to say, okay, there were some nuggets. There were some dimes. There were some gems in Dave's words here. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to give back to this world. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Salud. Peace out. Have a good one.